I am a god. Okay.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 memorable teen couples in horror films.
We're not going to apologize for trying to save you. You haven't seen or been through what we have. Yet.
Jake, I'm doing this to help you. Just so you know it's real.
Meanwhile,
whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
For this list, we'll be looking at the teen couples who stood strong in the face of horrifying monsters, and possibly a few who perpetrated the evil crimes themselves. If we missed your favorite murderous or doomed romantic pair, let us know in the comments. Number 10, Beverly and Bill. It. Young love. Of course, it might be slightly more romantic if you don't have a killer clown on your heels at all times, but beggars can't be choosers. In 2017's It, Beverly and Bill band together with a group of misfits to defeat the evil Pennywise the Clown.
Bill! Bill, you can't go in there! This is crazy!
Look, you don't have to come in with me. But what happens when another Georgie goes missing?
After saving Beverly from a dreadful floating fate, the kids make a blood pact, and Beverly and Bill kiss. Although Beverly and Bill don't actually end up together, Beverly actually ends up marrying their friend Ben in It Chapter 2, this couple has a special place in our hearts. They both represent loss of innocence, and the way they're able to connect over that in the first movie is beautiful.
Just so you know, I never felt like a loser when I was with all you.
Number 9, Ian McKinley and Erin Ulmer. Final Destination 3. The prospect of a violent and grisly death will really bring two goth teens together.
There was this guy, black cloak, I didn't see his face, but the ride attendant did take his sickle before the ride started, if that's helpful in any way.
Final Destination 3 follows in the footsteps of its first two gory volumes, bringing death and destruction to all teens who enter. And Erin and Ian get some of the best death scenes of all.
Let me get this straight. I'm gonna OD on nail polish, and Ian is gonna be embarrassed to death.
While working at a hardware store, death comes for Erin and causes her to trip and fall on a nail gun, doing some gnarly damage to her head. Wrecked over his girlfriend's death, Ian makes it a little bit further, but is eventually crushed by construction equipment. One thing we will say about this couple, they certainly did go out in style. Number 8, R and Julie, Warm Bodies. Move over, Edward and Bella. There's a new supernatural couple in town. This sweet little horror romance won our hearts in 2013 and gave us one of the best horror movie couples to date.
I actually miss him. You miss him.
I know, it's so stupid.
Like you're attracted to him.
No, I don't know.
Like he could be your boyfriend. Your zombie boyfriend.
R and Julie don't start off on the strongest note. He's a zombie after all, and his attraction to her stems from the fact that he ate her boyfriend's brains. Big yikes.
no wonder she's so afraid of me. I need a different approach. Okay, here we go. Don't be creepy, don't be creepy, don't be creepy.
As Julie and R get to know each other though, his feelings for her slowly start to bring him back to life. In the end, Warm Bodies is really a story about the power of love. If you meet the right person, you just might feel your heart start to beat again.
On the one hand, getting shot in the chest hurt. Like, a lot. But on the other, it felt good to bleed. To feel pain. To feel love.
Number 7, Needy and Jennifer, Jennifer's Body. Sure, Needy and Jennifer aren't technically a couple in this 2009 cult classic, but you certainly can't watch Jennifer's Body without feeling the palpable yearning and tension between the two. This movie follows Jennifer, a teenage girl who becomes possessed by a demon after a virgin sacrifice gone wrong. Then there's her shy best friend, Needy, who is desperately trying to figure out what's wrong with her friend.
Jennifer's evil.
I know.
No, I mean, she's actually evil. Not high school evil.
While also possibly, maybe, most definitely harboring a crush on her. Jennifer's Body provides a fun, fresh, feminist twist on the slasher flick and features a couple at its center who are a mainstay of queer horror.
Thought you only murdered boys. I go both ways.
Number 6, Jamie J. Height and Jeff Hugh Redmond. It Follows. Sometimes you go on a date with a nice guy. Other times, that seemingly nice guy is actually being chased by a mysterious, sex-transferred demon and intends to transfer said demon to you.
You can get rid of it, okay? Just sleep with someone as soon as you can. Just pass it along. If it kills you, it'll come after me. Do you understand?
Unfortunately for Jay and Jeff, this is the case in 2014's It Follows. After a reasonably pleasant date, Jeff knocks Jay out and she wakes up tied to a chair in an abandoned parking deck.
I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
As messed up as this premise is, it's maybe the nicest thing Jeff could have done for Jay. After all, he waits for the demon to show up and makes sure Jay sees it so she knows what she's in for.
It could look like someone you know, or it could be a stranger in a crowd. Whatever helps it get close to you.
It's better than keeping her in the dark? We've got to get higher standards. Number 5, Nancy Thompson and Glen Lance, A Nightmare on Elm Street. If your death scene is this bloody, you and your girlfriend are bound to go down in teen horror history. When Freddy Krueger starts haunting the dreams of the children on Elm Street, Nancy Thompson and Glen Lance decide to take matters into their own hands.
Are you crazy? Hit him with what?
You're the jock. You have a baseball bat or something.
The two come up with a plan to defeat Freddy, one that all depends on Glen's ability to stay awake. Unfortunately, Glen shows early signs of not being up to the task. Come on, man, you had one job.
Glen, you bastard.
What'd I do?
I just asked you to do one thing. Just stay awake and watch me.
Through that inability to keep his eyes open, Glen meets his demise in one of the franchise's signature deaths and leaves Nancy to fight Freddy on her own. Number 4, Lynda Vanderklok and Bob Sims, Halloween. Pro tip: if your boyfriend walks into the room hidden under a sheet, make sure it's actually him under there before blowing him off.
What's the matter? Can I get your ghost, Bob?
With Bob and Lynda, Halloween has one of the genre's best examples of the have sex and die trope.
Okay. Later. Have a good time. We definitely will.
After the couple sneak into a house for a little fun time, Bob goes downstairs for, what else, a beer, and is ceremoniously killed by the infamous Michael Myers. Michael, donning a sheet and wearing Bob's glasses, goes upstairs to take care of Lynda, who doesn't realize that she's in danger.
Cute, Bob, real cute.
Alas, while these two didn't make it far, they'll always be remembered in the teen horror canon. Number 3, Julie James and Ray Bronson, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Know What You Did Last Summer is full of hot teenage couples. R.I.P. Barry and Helen, you never had a chance. For this entry though, we wanted to focus on Julie and Ray. The couple broke up in high school after the two of them, along with Helen and Barry, hit someone with their car and hid the body.
We're going home now. And never, ever, under any circumstances known to God, speak about this again. Is that clear?
That's bound to put strain on anyone's relationship. But when the teens start receiving threatening messages, fate brings them back together. It takes a whole movie and more than a few murders, but Julie and Ray eventually reconcile and decide to give things another shot.
No one gets me the way you do.
I understand your pain.
We hope it works out, just maybe this time with less manslaughter. Number 2, Sidney Prescott and Billy Loomis, Scream. Being one of the most memorable couples in teen horror history doesn't necessarily mean you had the healthiest of relationships. In fact, if you're like Sidney and Billy, you might have had the least healthy relationship one could possibly imagine.
Why are you doing this? It's all part of the game, Sidney. It's called Guess How I'm Gonna Die!
Still reeling from the death of her mother a year earlier, Sidney has to deal with an overzealous boyfriend who wants to have sex. Oh, and the fact that a masked killer is stalking the town and seems to be interested in her.
So, who are you?
The question isn't, who am I? The question is, where am I?
You know, typical teen stuff. Well, surprise Sidney, turns out Billy was the killer all along.
Seen one too many movies.
Now, Sid, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos.
We'd say that means it's time for a breakup. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Steve and Rachel, disturbing behavior. Like a Stepford couple, but teenagers.
We're the only ones left.
So what do we do now?
We go home.
Chris Hargensen and Billy Nolan. Carrie. At least they died in love. Maggie Thompson and Andy Hawkins. Ma. Proof that teenagers should never party with adults. Kemper and Erin, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Being chased by Leatherface will really bring two people together.
Baby, I'm sorry. Okay. I did it for us. I did it so we could start a life, you know?
Ginny and Paul, Friday the 13th, Part 2. Couples that fight Jason together, stay together.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Curt and Jules, The Cabin in the Woods. Sometimes the best couple isn't the stereotype. It's the stereotype of the stereotype or something like that. The Cabin in the Woods is a smart, subversive satire that takes all of your favorite horror movie tropes and turns them up to 11.
Yeah, we rig the game as much as we need to, but in the end, they don't transgress.
They can't be punished.
No one is more exaggerated than Curt and Jules.
I got a little beer on your shirt? I guess it'll have to come off.
The scientists running the little experiment in the cabin, yes, you heard that right, release pheromones and chemicals into the air. This causes Curt and Jules to stop behaving like a normal couple and start behaving like sex-crazed, irrational teens.
Come on, this is why we came here. It's romantic.
The two meet their ends in fittingly grisly ways, but will always remember the good times we had.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.